Alright, what's up everyone? I'm going to try to show you guys how to find top dead center in pretty much any engine and in a knowledgeable fashion other than just looking for certain marks and timing clicks. For example, right here on this camshaft sprocket, they say there's an arrow right there. I just put some white out over it to kind of highlight the arrow. And on that arrow, it's supposed to point to a certain colored link on the chain right here. And I couldn't find a certain color link, and if you see, it's right at top dead center right now, and I'll show you why in a bit, but there's no different colored link right in there. So regardless, let me show you what I did. Alright, so first I learned about engines and how they work and the valve opening and cylinder and piston moving, because I'm just a med student, I'm no car mechanic. And I'll put a link to that video here below. Anyways, this is a 6-cylinder 1997 Maxima GXE. And the way the cylinders are numbered, number 1 is the passenger side, closer to the firewall, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right up here, closer to the battery. So what you need to do is you need to remove the spark plug from cylinder number 1. The spark plug, when you look inside here, I've taken the ignition coils, valve cover, and all that off here, or rocker cover, whatever they call it. And you look inside, you'll see there's a spark plug. So I already placed the extension bar in there, and it's not that deep in there, as you just saw. Here's the extension bar. It's a 3/8 drive. It's a 5/8 of an inch I don't know, socket to get it out. So you need a special one, not just a deep socket, but one for spark plugs. And I just started to take it out. So put it on that way, and you loosen it. Okay, so you need to loosen that spark plug. It shouldn't be there too tight. Alright, and there is a spark plug. It came right out for me. Now, you can test the spark plug, and it's very cheap. I don't even know if it was $1, I can't remember. And you get one of these little markers, and they have ticks, but it says this should be around 0.043 of an inch. So you put it on the smaller end here, just like that, and you rotate it around. And this is a little bit big. This is around like a little under 0.05, so it probably should be replaced. Anyways, now if we take a look inside, you will see there's that empty hole where the spark plug used to be, and that's the cylinder that should be pushed up all the way up to the top right here. And here's one more thing before I continue to do the rotation. I have a 1/4 inch socket wrench. I got 2 little extensions here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it where the spark plug used to be, and I'm gonna drop it in there. Right now it's at top dead center, so this should be the highest that it goes up. And you can keep an eye on it as I'm rotating the crankshaft below. As the piston goes up and down, what happens to this socket. Okay, so I'm at top dead center now in the compression stroke. But again, if you understand the workings of the engine, you'll understand there are 4 strokes to the engine. Okay, so to explain the 4 strokes to the engine, let me show you this first. I got a 1/2 inch breaker bar right here. I got an extension. I believe it's a 19mm socket. I have the crankshaft bolt on there. I already took it off, just like the starter trick that you see everybody doing, or you could use one that I showed in my previous video. Alright, so I'm rotating the crankshaft here, and it's spinning down below, and the engine's going through its cycles. It's 4 strokes. Alright, so now it's gonna go down. I believe that would be the combustion stroke here. And then you can see the, I guess they're called journals right here on the intake camshaft. And keep spinning. You should start to see the Start to see the socket wrench start to come up. This is the exhaust stroke. And how do I know? Well, if you take a look, and it's a little hard to see, but if you take a look at the journals, right, they're pushing down on that valve. So that valve is opening. And there's 4 valves per cylinder, 2 exhaust, 2 intake. So both valves are being pushed down, which means they're being opened. Also, something else I'd like to note is that if you look at the journals on the intake camshaft, you'll notice they haven't pressed down yet on the valve. I'll try to get a light in there. Right, they haven't pressed down yet on it. They're about to. You can see the point is right there. So right there is the point. So they're about to push down on the valve, the intake valve, which is right there below it. So watch closely and you'll see the journal is coming down. It's about to push down on that valve. Now as you look down inside, you might see the valve get compressed a little bit. It's going down. I'll take a picture so you can see it, but it's opening up. So let's review this. There are 4 strokes to the engine. So there's going to be 2 strokes where the piston is coming up. This one that you're seeing here, this one is going to be the exhaust stroke. So, alright, here it is. Alright, so it's coming up. This is the exhaust stroke, which means that the journals on the camshaft are pointing downwards, which means the valves on the exhaust are open. So you look at them, they're pushing down on the valves, which means it's open, so exhaust will be coming out of the engine. And then it's going to go down, it's going to intake the air and the fuel, and then the next one that it comes up on is going to be the compression stroke, and that's the important one. So this is where you get your top dead center, is the compression stroke. So it's coming up, 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 and you mark, see how high is it going to go, and I found out it was right here. So this is the top of the compression stroke where the number 1 cylinder is all the way up top. What did I do? Well, this is the left hand first camshaft sprocket. I just marked where the arrow was. I put a little bit of white out so I could see it better, and I marked it on the inner timing chain cover where it's going to line up. I did the same thing over here with the right hand side. I put a white, just white out, mark right there, and a mark right there. So now I found my top dead center. What's going on down below? If you take a look below, you'll see that's where my socket, it's attached to the crankshaft pulley nut, bolt, excuse me. Right there on the sprocket for the crankshaft pulley, you will see the key, or that little bulge right there. It's not pointing straight up. It's actually, when you look at it, I'll turn my camera a little bit. It's not pointing straight up, it's pointing up and to the left a little bit as you look at it. So that's where that should be aligned when it's properly timed. Alright, well, what's something else that I read about? Well, let's say you want to be really sure when that socket wrench starts to come up. Is that going to be the exhaust stroke or is that the compression stroke? Well, in the exhaust stroke, the exhaust valves are going to be open, which means these journals on the camshaft, the points are going to be pointing down, pushing on those valves, opening them up, which means air is going to escape through the exhaust. On the compression stroke, both these points are going to be up for the intake and the exhaust, which means all 4 valves are going to be closed. So where's the air going to be forced? Well, we remove the spark plug, so it's going to be forced right here out of this tube where the ignition coil goes in. So what you can do is keep moving this around until you start to see this come up just very slightly. Okay, there it is. It's coming up very slightly. Now this part might be easier with 2 people, but I'm doing it by myself. You can put your hand on top and plug it up, and I'm still rotating down beneath. And when you rotate, you want to feel for air coming out. I don't feel any air pushing against me. That must mean that the journals are pointed down and the exhaust valves are open, so it's on the exhaust stroke. So I could keep going like this, alright, and just keep going around, and just listen closely. Did you hear that? That was the air being forced up as the piston is pushing up in that cylinder. So I know this is definitely the compression stroke. So now I can put that socket extension all the way back in and wait for it to get to the top. This should mean I'm really close. It's going. Just a little bit more. And there we go. It's not moving anymore. That must mean it's a top dead center on the number 1 piston on the compression stroke. Because if I continue, it will start to go down. So now to recap everything. There are 4 strokes on the engine. The 2 that are important are the 2 that bring this socket extension all the way to its highest peak. But how do you know? Is it at the peak of the compression, or is it at the peak of the exhaust? Well, there's 2 ways to know. One is to look at the journals on the camshaft, make sure they're pointed up and they're not pointed down on the valves below, so they're not pushing them, which means the valves are closed. Another way is to remove this extension, put your hand, and on the upstroke you should feel air being forced and pushing your hand out of the way, and you might be able to even hear it. That's it. Good luck with top dead center. Good luck with timing chain. I got to continue this work, and I still got to get to my head gaskets.